Justin, it's great to have you back on the show.
Hey, Rob, thanks for having me back on the show.
Yes,
Appreciate
yes.
it.
And today I thought we'd continue an annual tradition
Yeah.
and talk about our bottom five films of the year so far.
Ooh, all right. Well, yeah. So there's still a lot that I haven't seen that are up on these like sort of top lists here, but also they're not necessarily bad movies. I just was disappointed in them, thinking it was going to be one thing and it was another, and then it just didn't hit me in the right sort of spots.
I, I
Through
get you.
Yeah, so some of these may be a surprise, but also some of them won't be. But I also haven't seen them all.
Yeah,
Like some,
I understand. So now you've been working a lot and hard all year, so I'm assuming you probably only get to see a movie a week at this rate.
yeah, like some of them that are on like the top 20 of IMDb, I have seen, but I also don't agree with because I kind of just expected them to be kind of crappy, you know. So
Yeah,
like 33, they have Argyle.
I've not seen that yet.
32, they had Ricky Stenicki, and it's like I knew that those were going to
I
be kind of,
I knew Ricky Stenicki was going to be just a dumb comedy film. I was just a bit the only thing I was disappointed about was it was by an award-winning director. It just feels like he's kind of slipping back into his usual movies he used to make with his brother.
yeah, I just didn't, it wasn't horrible to me. I haven't seen Spaceman.
That's good.
hmm Um, I never saw Damsel
No, I didn't fancy that one.
or Role Play.
What's role
Night
play?
Role Play is actually with David. Wait, is that right? No, is it David Oyelowo? But also Okeli Koko and Daily Oyelowo.
Yeah.
That came out on January 12th on Amazon. Mm, the Mother of the Bride, didn't see that. Maya
Yeah.
Copa, didn't see that. Lift, didn't see that.
No, I didn't see that.
The Strangers, Chapter 1, didn't see that.
Nope.
Miller's Girl, didn't see that.
Yeah, because I don't know whether you feel this as you're obviously a lot older than I am, but now that I'm like in an adult age, it feels like I don't want to watch too many bad movies. I don't want to waste my life.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Over on this other website, Winnie Pooh, Blood and Honey 2.
Well, come on, what critic goes into that movie thinking it's going to be Silence of the Lambs and not expecting it to be something dumb?
Exactly. I mean, why? Of course, it's going to be crappy. Pool Man,
What? That just sounds like the Big Lebowski as a detective in Chinatown.
and it's Chris Pine. The Garfield movie, Imaginary.
I've not heard good things about the If film either.
Yeah, same. Tarot. Oh, what about this? The Underdogs with Snoop Dogg. Of course it's going to be crappy.
Yeah,
Uh, and then yeah, Lift. Did you see Lift, the Kevin Hart movie?
I can't stand Kevin Hart.
Okay.
He's made too many bad movies in the last 2 years, and I just can't watch anything with him in. Although I will give Borderlands a go purely because of Jack Black and Kate Blanchett will make that film.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, yes.
All
So
right. Should
can
we
I?
talk our list?
Yes, can I kick things off with my number five? To my number five is the film I saw most recently.
Oh, all right. Let me hear it.
Okay, so my number five is a movie I obviously watched because I saw a trailer for it and it reminded me very similar to one of my other favorite movies of the year, Drive Away Dolls. This was told that this was the better version of this film, but when I watched it the other day, and bearing in mind I was also playing Red Dead Redemption whilst I was watching this, it just really felt empty. It just
Mm-hmm.
really felt empty. Just like I know it looked really well directed and it had a good cast, but it just felt empty. And that movie is Love Lies Bleeding, which I've only given a 2.5 star.
Oh, I haven't seen Love Lives Bleeding, but I heard only good things about it. So you prefer the Drive Away Dolls to Love Lives Bleeding?
Yes, because I know Ethan Cohen will make something funny and quirky and bizarre.
I really liked Drive Away Dolls. I thought it was fun.
Yeah,
Interesting.
that's what it just needed to be, a really fun comedy. Plus, when Coleman Domingo is in a film, it gets at least 3 stars minimum.
Yeah, I thought it was funny that all of his shots were close up though.
Yeah.
Okay. So you just didn't like Love Lives Bleeding.
Well, one, I'm not a big fan of Kristen Stewart. She always just feels really blah. Two, I feel like this film was very style over substance. Three, Ed Harris, legendary actor, one of the best. Always known for giving top supporting performances. This one isn't one of his best. It's not him in the Truman Show. It's not him in Apollo 13. And yeah, it just felt empty, and it just felt like there wasn't really a plot other than this bodybuilder played by Katie O'Brien, who falls in love with this gym manager and ends up sleeping with her brother-in-law and also working as a hitman for her dad. It just found like, and then and like Beau was afraid, there was these weird visuals. I'm thinking, what the hell is going on? It was like you might as well just put a random man flying without explanation in there too.
Tell me how you really feel. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Okay. I would love to see this movie. I am interested. You have not swayed it against.
Even by saying Kristen Stewart's in this, who is one of the blandest actresses ever.
She was good in that Cronenberg film.
She was bland.
I thought she was great.
The only good performance I've seen her in is when she's Diana, and she was under a good director.
Didn't Spencer?
Yeah, Spencer.
Well, the critics love it. 94% from the audience, 82 from, from the audience, 82, 94 from the critics.
It just felt empty.
Yeah, okay. Did empty at the box office at $11 million and 6.7 on IMDb. Good number 5.
Yeah.
All right. My number 5 is definitely on your list. I think it's going to be the only one that we have crossover on, so maybe we'll wait to talk about it. But I knew going in it wasn't going to be great. I had already heard some things about what was wrong with it, and then I watched it, and it wasn't as bad as people thought, but it definitely isn't a good addition into the Marvel sort of universe. And Madam Web is my number 5.
Yes, that's just a tiny bit higher.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that one in a bit because I have like a rant and a half. This will be the one that I will moan about the most.
Perfect.
All right, my number 4 is disappointing because it has 2 actresses I like in it. One who's in these kind of typical rom-com kind of girly comedy kind of roles. I love her in a particular high school Netflix movie, and she's also a supporting role in Palm Springs. And she's paired up with a really fantastic actress called Marissa Tomei. And Marissa Tomei gives her the worst performance of her career in this movie. This is upgraded starring Camila Mendes.
Why did you watch it?
I like Camila Mendes and I like Marissa Tomei, so I thought, why not?
So this is on Prime, and it's about Anna is upgraded to first class on a work trip, and she meets handsome Will, who mistakes Anna for her boss Claire. A white lie then sets off a glamorous chain of events, romance, and opportunity until her fib threatens to surface.
That's literally the same description as Letterboxd.
Nice. Yeah. I have not seen this movie. This is like a Hallmark sort of thing, right?
Yes.
And it just didn't hit with you. You don't like Hallmark?
Isn't Hallmark the company that makes greeting cards?
It is. They also have a Hallmark channel where they put on these sort of movies like Lifetime and stuff like that.
Like when they talk about either serious issues or just make a really low budget romantic film.
Yes, exactly.
Well,
And
now that Amazon and Netflix are making these movies, they kind of look like polished turds.
yeah, a little bit higher quality turd.
Yeah, literally. And this is one of them because they have money, they can stick in Marissa Tomei.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure she doesn't go for much these days.
She was
Wow.
in a massive franchise recently.
Yeah.
She's not like some B-lister or C-lister or Z-lister. She's an Oscar-winning superstar.
I think she's a B-lister. I don't think
Yeah.
she's an
Oh,
A-list.
your Oscars don't really make you an A-lister all of a sudden.
That's true. Do you think Adrian Brody is an A-lister?
Wes Anderson probably thinks he is.
yeah. Yeah, so this is a rom-com, and you didn't like it.
No. Camila Mendes did do a better movie called Musica on Prime, and that one actually felt like it had a story and was experimenting with puppetry. So, if you like her like me, then watch Musica, not Upgraded. My mum would probably watch.
Yeah. Well, my girlfriend for sure watched this one.
Did she feel strongly about it as I do?
No, I mean she lives for these types of things. This is like right up her alley. I'm sure she loved it.
Yeah.
Okay, girls, thank you. This was on one of the lists for sure. Love Life Bleeding.
It also has Anthony Stewart Head, who is in one of my favorite TV shows, and I know he's a good actor, but he's always like stuffed in these kind of movies because he's not an A or a B lister.
Yeah, number 20 on IMDb for the worst so far. 6.1. And 77% from the critics over on Rotten Tomatoes, 67 from the audience. So just not made for Rob.
No, just not made for me.
Okay. All right. My number 4. What did Letterboxd give it?
2.8.
Boosh. All right, number 4. I'm a little biased because I thought last year was so good with product biopics that I had really high hopes for this product biopic. It's about the nice toasty treat that we all love with the ooey gooey filling. This one brought to us by Jerry Seinfeld, written, directed, and starring Jerry Seinfeld. It's Unfrosted.
Yes, I have this. I have this as a 3-star. This would be 7th place, and I can see why you're disappointed because I personally think this had a lot of plot lines happening all at once, and then it just ended abruptly like that, and I think that's why I felt disappointed. But that's it from me. What did you not like about this one?
Well, again, I just was hoping for something like last year. We had Air and we had Tetris, which were two of the best
You forgot
movies from
my
last
favourite,
year.
Blackberry.
Yeah, of course, Blackberry, and then even Flaming Hot was, one of the worst of them, but it was still a pretty decent movie. It had
Yeah,
comedy.
I liked Flaming Hot. I don't know
Yeah,
what's the problem with it.
yeah, I liked it too. I thought all the product ones from last
The,
year
the
were.
weakest one sounds like the Beanie Baby one.
Yes. So that I guess that's what's going on with this one is that you bring in all these comedians to try to be funny and it's not working, and then it makes the movie that could have been awesome just fall flat. I mean, it was really really silly, and I don't think obviously this isn't the true story. There is some similarities, but I don't think this story like this deserves like.
Yeah, and it didn't feel as honest as Blackberry did either.
Yeah, but Blackberry had a lot of comedy in it. It was hilarious and drama, heavy. And like you can do that with this movie. Like Tetris was all drama heavy and it worked.
Yeah,
Air had a lot of comedy and drama in it and it worked. And this one just tried to go for the comedy and it fell pretty flat. And I think you got to give it to somebody else besides Jerry Seinfeld to lead this whole product to make it interesting and
well, I'm not a fan of the show Seinfeld.
yeah, I mean, it's fine. You don't have to like hide now because you said that. A lot of people don't like it, and he's one of the reasons, right?
I know it's like your national treasure show, and I really don't understand like what's so great about it.
Well, Curb Your Enthusiasm is better, and it's because
Oh
Larry
my god,
is.
so much better. I live for that show.
Yeah, and I think the biggest issue with Seinfeld, the TV show, is Jerry Seinfeld. I think he's just the biggest
No,
problem.
Larry's clever. He's more funnier.
Yeah, everyone else is funny except for him.
Yeah,
Um, and
Melissa McCarthy and Amy Schumer are actresses I try and avoid, but even them two are better than Jerry Seinfeld in this movie.
Yeah, and they were pretty bad, so that's saying a lot. You
Yeah,
also have Hugh Grant in there, Christian
I, I,
Slater.
I question Hugh Grant's role choices in the last couple of years.
He likes to do a little pop in. Jim Gaffigan, and then you have some fun known comedians: Kyle Mooney, Drew Tarver, Max Greenfield. He was also in Promising Young Woman. All right, but yeah, Patrick Warburton's in there, the guy who plays Flea.
And Cedric the Entertainer. He used to be a big star when I was a kid.
Yeah, I don't think he does much. He likes to do movies if he can, but yeah, this one just didn't work, and unfortunately, something like this could have been great.
What does Letterbox rate it?
It's a
2.1.
5.5 on IMDb. No, it was a budget of 14 million, but there's no box office. It went straight to Netflix, and 43% from the critics, 51 from the audience.
Maybe the Golden Raspberry should just give an award to Netflix for making some of the worst movies ever.
Well, it's good that they don't discriminate.
Yeah,
All right,
absolutely.
you're number 3, sir.
Okay, this is the one that's made by a man who is beloved. And because he is very beloved, he has his army of fans, and they all worship him as this god, and think he's the greatest director ever. Uh, but he isn't, because his last movie sucks. In fact, his last two movies suck, and in fact, both those movies were pretty much the same movie. This is Rebel Moon Part 2.
I didn't see it, but it is on a lot of the list. This is the Scar Giver.
Yes, yes. Allow me to read what I wrote of it on Letterbox. This is what I wrote about on Letterbox. I swear Zack Snyder took loads of pills mashed together a bunch of sci-fi cliches and cracked out two massive turds onto Netflix.
Now I want to see it. So
Have you
what's
seen
bad about it?
Have you seen the first part?
I did see part one.
Okay, so the first one, part one, started off slow, and it felt like they were setting up something. This one just felt like it was just all visual effects and no storyline. Every single scene was slow mo, and you can tell this was just a rip off of Star Wars meets Seven Samurai. Like I just feel
Yeah,
like Zack Snyder is way over his head as a director, and he thinks anything he makes is a masterpiece. And really, he just wants to remake that Excalibur film from the 80s Cody likes.
I'm in. Does somebody get a scar?
I can't remember it was that bad.
Yeah, it's on a lot of bottoms here. Number 11 on IMDb. I figured this one was going to be on your list. I mean, I'm sure
1.8
number.
on Letterboxd.
What?
1.8.
Yikes! Over on IMDb, 5.2, and budget of 83 million.
Definitely, and also, Rebel Moon Part One I like Charlie Hunnam. This one he wasn't in.
Huh? Yeah, I like Charlie as well.
Yeah, he's very talented.
15% from Rotten Tomatoes. Yeesh. 48% from the audience.
Yeah, there's just a really small percent of fans that like this movie. I don't really see the hype. I think they should
Did
let Snyder make DC films and just yeah.
no Adam or whatever his Gunn's not gonna let that happen.
Him and Gunn made a film together. They're good friends.
What did they make?
Dawn of the Dead.
Oh, nice. So you think he'll let him come back?
Maybe.
Do you like Rebel Moon Part 1 more or 2?
I don't really like either of them, but I say Rebel Moon Part One was more bearable.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there's your number 3. My number 3. Again, I mean, it's not bad, but if you're going to continue a franchise and a classic franchise,
Yes,
let's have it. Let's have it be just how about fun? Can we make it fun? And this movie was not fun. It's the new entry into the Ghostbusters universe. Ghostbusters Frozen Empire is number 3 for me.
Yes, my problem with this movie is more the problem with the whole Ghostbusters franchise. None of the characters have arcs. Every character is a flat character. There is no space for them to develop into other characters. They are the same characters from the first movie in the 80s to this movie in 2024. 40 years and they are still the exact same characters. Even the new characters are the same characters we first met in Afterlife. None of these characters change.
Yeah, they're more as a collective, as a unit. You know,
Yes.
that's the change in the arc is them as a team.
Yeah.
But now this one is they discover an ancient artifact and that unleashes an evil force, and the Ghostbusters, new and old, must join forces to protect their home and save the world from a second ice age. Yeah, this is like Fallen Kingdom, you know, where they have the or not is that no the third one Dominion where they bring in the old and mix them with the new, and I thought that worked pretty well, but it just didn't work here.
No.
It's gone. It's lost sort of its muster. And if you are gonna do a sort of continuation, like we don't need the old people in it. You know, we did fine in Afterlife. I thought that one was, halfway decent.
Yeah, they just popped up to help them save the day. The end.
Yeah, and it was heartfelt and really sweet because, the whole uh the one guy that died.
Yeah, and the only character that we haven't seen for years is Walter Peck, and
Mhm.
he's now the mayor. So I guess he's the
Mhm.
only one who's changed. He's just gotten higher. And I thought they really missed the opportunity for Bill Murray to say right at the end, after 40 years, this man still has no dick.
That
That line was missing from the film.
yeah. I'm also not a big fan of a villain that can just bring stuff up from underneath the earth. It makes no sense, but it's just so easy.
Yeah, I
But
can.
anyway, it just wasn't fun. I wanted something fun, and they just try to
No,
be
yeah, but
like,
I would say the strongest was Kumail Nanjiani.
yeah, he's always good. Camille
Yeah,
kills it.
yeah.
Um, yeah, but Finn Wolfhard's in there, Paul Rudd, Carrie Coon, Patton Oswalt.
Jim Wolfhard is my least favorite character in this whole franchise because there's nothing to him.
Yeah, he got lucky with Stranger Things. Bill Murray is in there, Dan Aykroyd, Annie Potts is back, Ernie Hudson.
Yes.
Directed by Gil Keenan. Do you know Gil Keenan?
I think let's have a look at his filmography.
He wrote on
Oh,
the.
he made Monster House, which I've always been meaning to see.
He directed 2015 Poltergeist, but yeah, nominated for Monster House.
Yeah, I heard Monster House is amazing.
Unfortunately, just didn't fit Goot for this one.
No,
And
I
the
had
first one,
I had a
first
feeling.
one's way better.
Yeah, I literally thought I am literally not surprised this is in your list.
Yeah, one and more. 6.1 on IMDb.
It's funny you say that too, because Letterboxd ranks at 2.6.
$100 million budget. Worldwide gross is 201.6. So I think it did all right. A lot of people were going to see this. I mean, there was nothing really out at the time. And the critics give it 42% with the audience 83. Just for fun, let's see what Afterlife was. What do you want to guess?
What, Rotten Tomatoes?
For Afterlife, yeah.
I'm guessing it has to be 80 audience and 70 critics.
Oh, 64 from the critics, 94 from the audience.
So I swear everybody but Cody loves Ghostbusters Afterlife.
And then how about the girl Ghostbusters?
Meh.
No?
Nah, not a fan.
74% from the critics, 49 from the audience. Yeah. All right. That was my number 3.
And we can go back to your number 5 now because my number 2 is Madam Web.
Yes, Cassandra Webb is a New York metropolis paramedic who begins to demonstrate signs of clairvoyance. Focused to challenge revelations about her past, she needs to safeguard 3 young women from a deadly adversary who wants them destroyed. Tell us about it.
Yes, this movie has made me asking loads of questions. So I'm just going to briefly explain over why this movie sucks. First things first, Madam Web is a side character in a Spider-Man film in the Spider-Man universe. Whose idea was it to make her the lead of a movie? Also, I love the actor who plays the villain. I think he's a fantastic actor. But they seem to dub over his voice, and it doesn't really match with the lips. And why have they done this? Also, who is this movie aimed at? What is the point of this film existing? Why did Sony allow this to be released when it was going to be terrible? Which member of the Sony board thought this was going to be a hit? And there's no Madam Web comic book spin offs like there is Morbius or Venom. So, what source material are they adapting? It just feels like a Spider Man version of Final Destination. And yet, Dakota Johnson is not a leading actress. She's no Emma Stone. She's no Margot Robbie. Who thought she'd be the perfect lead for this movie? And also, what universe is this set in? Who even pitched this idea? And who thought a pivotal scene in this movie would be three girls dancing on a table to Toxic?
It's a good song.
It's a great song, but when you're watching a superhero film, you want action. If I wanted to watch a film where three young girls dance on a table, I'd watch Grease.
Also starring Sydney Sweeney,
Who I love.
Isabella Merced, who was she's Dora the Explorer, live action. Celeste O'Connor, she was just in The Afterlife and the Ghostbusters Frozen Empire.
Those.
Emma Roberts, Mike Epps, Adam Scott.
You're talking about actors who I like now. Like, why are they in this movie?
Well, who doesn't want to be in a Marvel film?
But this is not Marvel. This is fringe Marvel. This would be like if Marvel was produced by the Asylum, that company that makes really shit blockbusters.
Yeah. Wow. The director has done mostly TV.
Yes, and she took influence from one of my favorite directors, Wong Kar-wai, and I think if he watched this movie, he'd think it's shit.
Yeah. I did actually like the when they're all in their costumes. Like, just give me more of that. Give us more superhero
that's
stuff.
The thing. If the film was that, it would have been so much better.
Yeah, they should have done that, and they didn't.
Yeah. Also, one of my favorite songs, "Dreams" by the Cranberries, is just shoved in there, right at the end credits, when it has nothing to do with the entire movie. Again, because Wong Kar-wai has this song in one of his movies, I feel like that's why she wanted it in there.
Yeah, the scene on the bridge is one of the dumbest things I've seen all year, and it's number 5 because again I wasn't expecting much, but it wasn't as horrible as everyone thinks that it was.
At least Morbius was trying. At least both Venom movies were trying. Venom 3 looks like it's trying. This movie just felt like it was just made for the sake of it.
And then I just wanted more of the action and more of them in their suits because they were pretty sweet.
Yes, definitely. I also watched, I know it's from last year, but I also watched Anyone But You, and I don't know what it is, but Sydney Sweeney needs to start doing some good movies.
She's the it girl right now.
Yeah, exactly. So just stick her in good movies, not films just stick her in there for the sake of it. Like, at least with Emma Stone and Margot Robbie, they pick their projects very wisely.
She's still starting out. 3.9 on IMDb, $80 million budget, still worldwide gross of 100 million, 11% from the critics and 57 from the audience.
1.5 on IMDb. I'll tell you, you remember Alison who came on the show a couple of times?
Yeah.
Yeah, she loved this movie. I find that odd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, again, I'm sure she just had fun. Yeah, I actually do remember seeing some of her tweets. She just had fun, I'm sure. She sees a lot of movies though. She goes daily.
Yeah, literally. She probably watches more films than I do.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, Madam Web made the top on a lot of lists. Number 6 over on IMDb. It's my number 5. It's your number 2. Number 1 on this website, GameSpot. Did you see Megamind? The versus the Doom Syndicate, because
I'm not really big on the first Megamind, so I passed on that one.
yeah, that came on a list somewhere.
Plus, it felt like it was a straight to DVD kind of movie, a bit like the Ice Age one I watched from years ago.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, my number 2 has the highest score on IMDb. I just didn't like it. It wasn't hitting me where it hit everybody else for some reason. I mean, I know the reason, but I just don't know the reason why people like this so much. And I'd like to know your take on it as well, to see if you have seen it.
Okay.
From a very good director, somebody who I think very highly of, and I think you do the same. One of his movies from last year actually made my top 5, top 10. This time he did a live action film, and it's called Hitman, starring Glenn Powell and Adria Arjona.
Yes, I don't like it as much as Cody does, but it is my is 10th in my letterboxd ranked list of the.
Yeah, directed by Richard Linklater.
Yes, I love Richard Linklater.
Same. And I tell you, the issue here is Glenn Powell.
Okay, I like Glenn Powell because he kind of feels like he's the new Brad Pitt / Tom Cruise. He's
I don't.
charming, he's charismatic, and
But how is this guy able to go from being like a nerd to being the most charismatic guy getting the hottest girl possible?
haven't you seen Miss Congeniality and all the other ugly duckling kind of movies?
Yeah, but she was still her. Like she still couldn't get over the fact that she's very awkward, and she played into that, and actually that makes it a little more like sexy. Is like she's kind of goofy, and then he's all of a sudden like this heartthrob and good at acting. Like he's able to portray these characters and come off as a guy who gets laid a lot. I mean, I wasn't buying it. Then he goes home and he's watering his plants with a spray bottle. I mean, it doesn't make sense.
Movies aren't really made to make sense.
Well, this did not work for me. Yeah, he does like tech for the FBI, and then one day one of the detectives couldn't go do his job, so then they just asked him to do it. He's not even part of the force. Like that's so dangerous. That would never. Well, I guess it's inspired by a true story, but I don't know how that would work. You'd have to get like sworn in and stuff, right?
I know there's a lot of apparently Beverly Hills Cop is unrealistic because realistically you wouldn't be able to just go off to LA and solve a crime by yourself.
But we already know from the top that he's a charismatic, fun character who doesn't give a shit. This one, they're portraying him as a nerd who only knows, how to do tech work and teach class, and then all of a sudden he's badass, knows how to use a gun, knows how to fight or whatever, and it's like how?
I mean, it's not as good as Black Klansman.
No, definitely not. Also, Adria Arjona's in this. She's cute. She was in Life of the Party and Triple Frontier.
I'm Morbius.
Underground, Morbius. Yes, she's been in Andor for 8 episodes,
Nice.
and she's also in this movie called Los Frikis.
It's also got the guy from Walking Dead and the woman from Parks and Recs.
Yeah, Retta.
Yes, she was Donna, wasn't she?
She was, yes, Donna. She likes just going with the one names because in this she's just Claudette.
And Austin Morella, he was one of Negan's muscles.
Richard Linklater and Glenn Powell co-wrote this movie.
I feel like it was solid. Like it kind of had that fun kind of like the Fall Guy to me.
No, the Fall Guy was way more fun. This, and again, off the top. You know he's charismatic and you know he's got riz. Glenn Powell, no. But yeah, we love Richard Linklater. He did Apollo 10 and a half, Space Age Childhood from last year. I loved. Before that, he did Where'd You Go, Bernadette? Did you see that one?
No, I've been meaning to. It's on Netflix. But my favourite films of his are School of Rock, Days of Confused, A Scanner Darkly, and Boyhood.
Yeah. He also did the Before Sunset series.
I keep saying this to you every year. I still need to watch those movies.
I need to too. I still have it. He did Me and Orson Welles, which I enjoyed. They had oh my God, what's his name from Iron Claw? Zac Efron,
Zac
and then Bernie, and then yes, everybody won some the baseball film, and then Last Flag Flying. Have you seen that movie?
No.
Look at that. It has Bryan Cranston. It has Lawrence Fishburne, and it
And Steve
has
Carell.
Steve Carell. Exactly. Now that's a stacked cast.
He picks his actors well, Richard Linklater. I will give him that. Could you have seen Ethan Hawke or Jack Black as this character? So I swear, Glenn, Jack, and Ethan are his three main go-to guys.
As the hitman, it might have been funny if that was the case.
Yeah, Jack Black could have pulled it right off. He can be, he can pull off anything.
If this movie was released, do you think it would have done well in theaters?
No, I think it's better as like an indie darling.
7.0 on IMDb, and again, high scores, and I just didn't care for it. 96% from the critics, 91 from the audience. Everybody loves this movie.
3.5 on Letterboxd. When people say 3.5, I always see it as it's above average.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's 2.5, it's below average, so 3 being the average.
Yeah, I hear that. All right, we've come down to it. Number one.
Okay, my number one is literally just a movie I just stuck on because it was on Netflix. It was talked about a lot on the internet. It had a good cast. I know you love the main actress in this movie, and I like the supporting cast. It starred Simu Liu, who's quite promising considering he's in a Marvel film. Another Marvel actor, recently Oscar nominee, Sterling K. Brown. And we also have Mark Strong, a legendary actor. But the movie failed because of its terrible leading performance and just overall bad acting from a good cast. And boring storyline, terrible CGI. I could just predict the whole movie as I was watching it. And this is Atlas starring Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah, also starring one of my good friends. That's really funny.
Which friend is that?
Her name is Adia. She's like fifth build.
Adia Smith Ferrickson.
Yep.
Nice.
Okay, tell us about it.
So this is practically Mission Impossible 7 meets Star Wars meets Castaway.
Yeah.
And the film is literally just about this woman who's in space trying to hunt this AI program played by Simu Liu. You think Simu Liu, because he's been the main actor in a Marvel film, you'd think he'd be in better movies. Like, how does it work? Because it just bit weird how actors in Dune and Euphoria are becoming superstars, but not people in the MCU.
Yeah, I'm not sure. So
Yeah,
he wasn't good.
Even Glenn Powell, he's kind of become a superstar.
So he wasn't good in it, or he just wasn't given good content?
Both.
Okay.
Both. This is directed by Brad Payton, who Does a lot of Dwayne Johnson vehicle films.
San Andreas, Rampage.
Yeah, Rampage
Uh,
sucks.
he did Cats and Dogs: The Revenge of Kitty Galore.
He must have been desperate for money.
Uh, I think that was his first like big movie. Journey
Yeah,
to the Mysterious Island.
yeah. This seems like he's Dwayne Johnson's yes man,
Mm,
and he became Jennifer Lopez's yes man for this job.
yes, man.
Like I remember you saying last year that you didn't like a Jennifer Lopez movie. Is she just declined in quality since Hustlers?
Well, I think she kind of takes whatever she can get, really. If as long as she's the lead, she's pretty much work consistent. She did Mother from last year or whatever. I didn't mind that; it wasn't bad. Yeah, I don't know why I haven't seen this. This seems like something I would want to see, and
Yes,
Rebel Moon too.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't think it's done well. It's kind of her fault. She's kind of having a negative assance against her lately
Yeah, literally.
because she did the documentary that she paid for herself or whatever, and that didn't do well. And then she had to cancel her tour because ticket sales weren't up, even though she said she was doing it to be with family. She's also having issues with Ben, I guess. So
This is why people shouldn't go back to their exes.
yeah, if it didn't work out the first time, how is it going to work out the second time? Because
Only in certain scenarios.
yeah. Also, um, didn't she do that with Alex Rodriguez? Like she left him and went back. But
Something like
anyway,
that. I don't really try and follow celeb drama unless I hear about it.
yeah. I'm a fan of J Lo, so this is disappointing. Sterling K. Brown, how is he?
Uh, I think he's only like a minor role.
Hmm.
It's only really Jennifer and Simu who were kind of in it.
Got it. Okay. It's 5.6 on IMDb. No budget details and over on
Oh, $100 million budget.
Oosh.
Again, but these when they're straight to Netflix, it just feels like they are literally polished turds.
Yeah, this one's very polished. 18% on Rotten Tomatoes, 45% from the audience.
Definitely. If you want a better film about post-apocalyptic sci-fi AIS movie, The Creator,
Oh, okay.
much better
The
movie.
Creator. All right. My number one.
Yes. What's disappointed you the most so far?
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to like this.
Okay.
Uh, and it's not a bad movie. And you and I have already talked about this because we just talked about it on my show. But my number one is a disappointing biopic. Out of all the movies, out of the five that we've sort of named here, or my five, your five, whatever, I was most excited to see this one. I mean, who doesn't want to see a biopic about Amy Winehouse? And I mean, it's got to be off the rails, crazy, insane, because that's all we, really know about her. And they had so much to do and just didn't do it. My number one is Back to Black.
Fair enough. I can see why you're disappointed. I probably will talk about this more when we talk about our top five. This is one of my favorite movies, but yeah, I see where your issue lies in the script.
Yeah, I mean, again, there's just so much to do, and they just didn't show it. And we
Yeah,
need we need to see it. And you have a little bit more history with her because she was big before she came over here, but or at least a name before she came over here. You sort of knew her antics, and it just didn't. Just didn't work for me. Her voice is great. It does sound pretty good, like Amy Winehouse's. Um, and I do like Jack O'Connell, who played Blake, who was somebody that she fell madly in love with and sort of became obsessed over. But yeah, I just don't, think that it should have been handled the way that it did, and could have been so much more. I mean, it's 2 hours and 2 minutes, and it, should have told a lot, and it didn't really. I mean, well, let's spend a little bit more time in that rehab facility. Let's see, like, how, she obviously being in there, this is how she figured out to write the song, but like, like, show us more inspiration from the product itself. And
Yeah,
um
yeah,
and then I know it was a big part of her life, but I didn't really care for the love interest. We know that they're bad for each other and toxic for each other. And
she she was also really pally with the lead singer of the Libertines, Pete Doherty, and he wasn't mentioned in this, and I feel like he was a lot to do with her drug habits. I should have really mentioned this in the video we just recorded. But yeah, I feel like because he's still alive, they couldn't really say his name in case he threatened to sue. He didn't realize this film was coming out until he saw a poster for it, but yet they used one of his songs in the film. It's very strange.
nice.
I don't know how it works with music in films.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her music is beautiful. It's good to just listen to her sing throughout, because you do
Yeah,
get
I
some.
recently just got given the Back to Black album. It's quite a good listen.
Yeah, and we get to listen to pretty much full songs, a couple of them in here, and I thought that really elevated the movie itself, to see how well she can sound like Amy. But yeah, I just was expecting something a little bit better,
Yeah,
and didn't get it. But it's a fine film. I mean, people should check it out. I
definitely.
just was I had high expectations and was disappointed.
Definitely. I thought you would have been more disappointed with Bob Marley One Love because it just felt like an advert for Bob Marley's music, whereas Back to Black felt more like an actual movie.
Hmm. Yeah, I didn't mind One Love, but also I just knew it wasn't gonna be like I knew it wasn't gonna be a great. You can't. I didn't think the guy really looked like him to begin with, but you can't, do that character, that personality. Um, it just shouldn't be done or
Previously
touched.
didn't do a terrible job.
No, it's fine. I actually, again, didn't mind it. I just didn't think it. It was it came out like on Valentine's Day or whatever. It was supposed to be like a love story almost. And
Did you see it for your Valentine's Day date?
no, I saw that one a lot later. That one and Madam Web, both movies came out. No, for Valentine's we went to Hell's Kitchen. That was good.
Nice. Was Gordon Ramsay there?
No, it was not. All right, my number 5 to 4. I had Madam Web, Unfrosted, Ghostbusters: Frozen Empire, Hitman, and Back to Black.
Me, I had Love Lies Bleeding, Upgraded, Rebel Moon, Madam Web, and Atlas.
Hey, all of those movies are female led.
Yeah, four of my top five are female led.
By the way, Back to Black is 6.4 on IMDb, $50 million gross, and then Rotten Tomatoes 34% with the 86% from the audience.
Yeah, yeah,
Cool. Well, there you have it.
yeah.
Those are our least favorites
Bottom
of the year
five.
so far.
Yeah, least favorites.
And any movie to recommend for this week?
Uh, I, I don't think I've spoken about this yet, but it's a documentary,
Mm-hmm.
and it's Jim Henson Idea Man.
Yes, I also saw.
Yeah,
Directed by Ron Howard.
directed by Ron Howard. Yes, and surprisingly, he makes a really interesting documentary for somebody who makes movies that are either hits or misses.
Yeah.
And this is about the life of Jim Henson, how he brought us to Muppets. As I'm a big fan of the Muppets, I had to watch this because I just really want to see how Jim Henson has single-handedly created my childhood.
Yeah, actually, it's pretty spectacular to watch and to see what he's built. Yeah, I thought it was really, really well done.
Yes,
That's a great
I love
recommendation.
Jim Henson. I love Frank Oz, and I love this world they built.
Yeah, it worked. It worked for
My
me well.
question to ask you, Mr. Doyle, is if you could make a remake of any movie, you're only allowed to keep one human actor and all the rest have to be Muppets. Who would it be?
Well, I guess Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, right?
Is Brad Pitt the only
Of course.
yeah.
Miss Piggy is Margot Robbie. Kermit is a Leo character. I mean, it's writing itself.
Yeah. It sounds even better than Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Get out of here!
If it's got a Muppet in it, it makes it 1,000 times better. That's why the better Camila Mendes movie of 2024 is Musica, because there's puppetry.
Aha. All right, my movie recommendation is it's just top in the box office. I really, really had a good time with Inside Out 2.
Which I watched on Monday.
It gave me all the feels of everything, and then especially if you do have a lot of these emotions. Well, we all have a lot of them, but if they're prominent in your life, you feel you feel Riley. You just kind of
Yeah.
sink right into the character, like you're them, and it was just I thought it was well written. I think it should be up for adaptation screenplay, and then. I just love the new emotions, and it also made me love the old ones even more. I thought it was interesting that they didn't have Mindy Kaling back, or the guy who played.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't
I,
have.
I'm more surprised that the director didn't come back, Pete Docter,
Yeah,
or Michael Giacchino, who did the music.
they're just making it their own. Yeah, I guess they gave all the money to Amy Poehler, but then they still made those two characters, Desperation and Fear, whatever,
Joy and
prominent.
Sadness.
They've made them prominent. Yeah, Sadness was barely in it this time, where she was one of the biggest characters in the last one.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm surprised they put Joy as the main character again, because normally Pixar do this thing where the second character becomes the lead of the second movie. Like with Toy Story 2, it's a more buzz focused adventure than
yeah,
Woody.
Cars 2.
Cars 2 with Mater, Finding
Yeah,
Dory with Dory.
yeah, that's true.
Like this one, and it felt like this was going to be Anger's story.
No, this was all anxiety.
Yes, and it was fun.
And
And it's funny because I had a little laugh to myself at work because the customer walked out and one of the children he came out and said, I liked anxiety, and I was thinking, you're not going to when you're older.
yeah, there's also new characters: Embarrassment, Ennui, and Envy. And I just thought it worked. Very, very lovely
And
film.
embarrassment because Paul Walter Hauser is becoming a voice actor now.
Yeah, but he didn't really have much to do with this one.
Have you seen Orion and the Dark yet?
Yes,
What did you think to that?
very good. Very
Yeah,
nice.
nice.
Yeah, lots of fun.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
And John
Oh,
Ratzenberger returned as well. He's been absent for these movies for a while.
yes. I think he died, right? Did he die?
No, John Ratzenberger's very much alive.
Oh, it was Mr. Potato Head that died. Yes.
And Mr. Potato Head that passed on. Yeah.
Cool. All right, buddy. Well, thanks for having me. This was a fun topic. Hopefully, we can find better movies to talk about next month.
Oh yes, yes. I have a rough idea for my 5. 4 of them are directed by women. I'm calling this the year of women.
Boom. Okay. Except 4 or 5 of your movies, the worst movies, were all woman led.
Yes.
I mean, hey, they make the worst and the best, right? So there we go.
Yeah, it's more what you do with the women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
No, Hitman was your Hitman was a male lead.
Yeah, Hitman was male lead. Ghostbusters male lead. Unfrosted male lead. And nope, Madam Web and Back to Black, both female. So I mix it up. I get it all in there.
Yeah, Rebel Moon's kind of an ensemble piece.
But that's a lady for sure. She's the lead.
Yeah.
No excuses, Rob. All right, buddy. Gotta
Yeah.
run. Thanks for having me.
Good to see you, Justin. And yeah, we'll talk about our top 5 when we next meet. I just need to see Bike Riders and Kind of Kindness.
Going tonight. Kinds of Kindness. Very excited.
Nice. Let me know what it's like.
Yes. Cool, buddy.
All right. Awesome. See you in a bit, dude.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you all for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe and let us know your least favorite film or worst film down in the comments below.
Yes. Let us hear it.
Yes.
And we'll talk to you soon.
Right. Bye.
Bye.